Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Noble, and today we're going to be doing an updated version of the Red Eyes Black Dragon deck profile. So it has just been a while since I've done this one, and it looks a little bit different than the last time. The deck list is different than how I originally played it. So I just kind of want to give you guys an update. Definitely, one of the most iconic monsters we had just done, the Blue Eyes deck profile. So I thought, hey, let's go ahead and do a Red Eyes one as well. And I don't think I've even profiled it since I got the gold rare Red Eyes Black Dragon, which I was super excited about getting a place out of those anyway. Yeah, Red Eyes, they're a lot of fun to play, and it's much more affordable now, just like Blue Eyes, thanks to reprints, because Red Eyes was stupid expensive. Man, paying $40 for a Fang of Chang, no thank you. There are still some things that are expensive, and Red Eyes Dragoon is not exactly the cheapest card in the world, but it's much more affordable. So yeah, guys, I'm really excited to get into this one. Before we do, if you haven't already done so, now's a great time to subscribe. Hit the bells and become part of the notification team. Give this video a thumbs up, and let's jump right on into this Red Eyes Black Dragon deck profile. Alright, so to kick this off, we are playing triple of the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Of course, I don't really think that's a shocker to anybody. Not really much to say about this. Like I always say, you're playing triple Blue Eyes and Blue Eyes set. You're playing triple Galaxy Eyes Photon and a Galaxy Eyes Photon deck. You're playing triple Red Eyes Black Dragon and a Red Eyes Black Dragon deck. And I just really love that new rarity, man. It was so nice. Of course, playing a Dark Magician. I mean, have you seen a Red Eyes deck profile since Dragoon came out without a Dark Magician? I do play like a Monster Reborn to be able to recycle this so that you can actually get another one out later on or something like that. So I did at first. I was, I thought about running this at 2 for a long time. I don't like that. I have seen people run 2 of them, and I did actually for a while, but I quickly realized that's not the move in my personal opinion. Of course, you can play this deck any way you want to, and that's totally fine. It's totally your right. But me personally, one's enough. One's good. I'm good with 1. I sleep good with 1. Also running 1 Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. I really like this card a lot. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is a normal monster on the field, you can normal summon to become an effect monster with this effect. That if damage calculation is performed involving this card at the end of the battle phase, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's original attack. You're probably never going to use that, but if there's some like little niche situation to where you're able to, you can inflict a lot of damage to your opponent if you're able to actually use that. And then playing double alternative. I was playing alternative at 1 for a while, but I kind of bumped this one back up to 2. I like it a lot. It's nowhere near as good as Blue Eyes alternative, unfortunately. But it's still really helpful because it can't be normal summoner set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by attributing a Red Eyes monster from your hand or field. Any Red Eyes monster, which is cool. You only special summon Red Eyes alternative Black Dragon once per turn this way. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card is owned possession is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can target level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, accept another copy of this card, special summon it, and then if there's a Red Eyes Black Dragon that was special summoned, the original attack becomes double. So it's really cool because you're able to get it's so easy to fill up your graveyard with even 3 copies of your Red Eyes Black Dragon. Turn 1. Not necessarily want to, you might want to have some in your deck for future purposes, but it's really easy to get Red Eyes into the graveyard in this deck. Super consistent, actually. So you're going to be able to use this effect, and you're going to be able to get a 4800 attack beat stick on the field. It won't have any protection, which is the one caveat. I mean, but there are ways around that, but it's just really cool to be able to have such a big body just like that. And it's really, they're going to know you're going to have it in the graveyard. So if they don't have a way to combat that, they're not going to want to get rid of this card. And if they forget, that's on them. I'm playing double the Blackstone of Legend. I bumped this one down from 3 to 2. You can tribute this card, special summon at 1 level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your deck. Accept another copy of this card. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, except Red Eyes Black Chick, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, add this card to your hand. You only use this effect once per turn, and only once this turn. You only use 1 effect once per turn, and only once that turn. So, really easy to be able to get a Red Eyes monster out onto the field, and then it's also just super easy to recycle this card. The card is really good. If you want to max it at 3, that's fine, but 2 seems more optimal, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. Red Eyes Baby Dragon is something I have played around with the ratios, and 2 also seems to be pretty optimal. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your deck, and if you do, equip this card from the graveyard to it, and it gains 300 attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can add 1 level 1 dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You could arguably play this at 1 if you wanted a little more room, but we play so much draw power in this deck, it's not really an issue for the most part. But yeah, I kind of like this one at 2. Thinking about 1, but I really do. I'm pretty comfortable with 2. Gearfried, the Red Eyes Iron Knight is something I also bumped down. I was playing it at 2 as well. If it's just because I just don't go for Slash Dragon quite as much these days, but if you want to, that's totally fine. Red Eyes like Blue Eyes, there's a lot of different ways to play this deck, a lot of different builds. This is just one that's I've had a lot of fun with and been working for me. If you want to play more Gearfried, if you want more Slash Dragons in your life, that's totally fine. Once per turn, if either player equips an equipped card to this card, you can destroy those equipped cards. You can destroy 1 spell trap card your opponent controls. Once per turn, you can send 1 equipped card you control that is equipped to this card to the graveyard, then target 1 level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster in your graveyard and special summon it. I'm running 1 Meteor Dragon, the Red Eyes Impact. If you don't have Black Comet Dragon, where the heck his name is, this one's not as important to you. But if you do, this card is really important. This card, I mean, there are other ways, but I really like this one. This card is treated as a normal monster, but I mean, none of this is really matters. You're really basically using this as fodder for your Red Eyes Black Comet Dragon. Of course, we're playing triple of the pseudo Red Eyes. It's not technically a Red Eyes card, but it's definitely a Red Eyes card. Black Metal Dragon. This card's awesome. You can target 1 Red Eyes monster you control and equip this monster from your hand or field to that target, and it gains 600 attack. And then if this card is sent to the field or graveyard, you can add 1 Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand. If you link off that card's material or something like that, exceed anything like that, you basically get a search off of this, and it's really awesome. Really helps with the consistency, and I'm so happy it's a super rare too. Kind of a new tech I'm running is the Heavenly Zephyr Miradora, however the heck you say it. The more I tested this out, the more I liked it in the deck and the synergy with this deck, because it's a level 7 dragon, which is really cool, and it has some awesome effects. So the activation effect of this card's effects cannot be negated if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters with 2,000 or more attack from the extra deck except during the damage step. You special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can target 1 face-up opponent's monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. Neither player can activate that monster's effects while this card is face-up on the field. You only use this effect once per turn. I just really like this. I think it works really well with this deck. Multiple uses for it. If you have it on the field, you can go into your Exceed plays. You can do a lot of things with this card, and I really like it. I think it works really well. Something else I think works really well with this deck is one of my favorite cards. I really like this. Tenyi Spirit of Vishuddha. I'm running double of this. I did play it 3 for a while, but I kind of bumped it down now. I think 2 just works a little bit better. If you control no effect monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, then target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So you basically can pull something. But it's easy to get out. It's in a level 7 monster as well. I like it a lot, and it works really well because a lot of times you'll have a non-effect monster on the field as well. I'm running a double Noctovision Dragon. I like this one a lot. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a face-down card or cards you control, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and negate that effect. Also, your opponent cannot target that face-down card with card effects for the rest of its turn. You can only use the following effects of Noctovision Dragon once per turn. If a Dark Dragon monster or monster is special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is really awesome, really easy to get another level 7 dragon monster on the field that's dark. And then this card is sent to the graveyard as linked material. You can draw a card, which a lot of times it will be. So just being able to dig deeper into your deck, and then it's also a target for alert as well, because we do play that in this deck. And I'm running 1 Tempest Dragon Ruler of Storms. If this card is banished, also you can search out the Heavenly Zephyr as well, which is kind of cool, but I like this card in this deck as well. If you don't want to run this, that's fine. So that's actually it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So I'm playing triple Red Eyes Fusion. Of course, I don't even really need to explain what this card does or why I'm playing this. I will real quickly, in case you're new to the game maybe. But you fusion summon 1 fusion monster that lists a Red Eyes monster as material from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand, deck, or field as fusion materials. So a lot of places to grab those resources. Really awesome. And if you do, its name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. You cannot normal or special summon monsters the turn you activate this card. You can only activate 1 Red Eyes Fusion per turn. So I have seen this ratio go up and down. I've seen 3 maxed out. I've seen 2. I've seen 1. I have tried all of them. For me, 3 and 2 works the best. I don't like 1 because this card is really imperative to like the success of the deck. You want Dragoon, and if something happens to that 1 copy, you're screwed. So 2, maybe. I kind of liking 3 more because the more I play this deck, the more my opponent's waiting to negate the Red Eyes Fusion or try and stop it, and so I like having multiple chances of this card. If you want to bump this down, that's fine. You can do that. If you want to send me your super rares, that's fine. You can do that too, because I can't get them. All right. So running, also playing triple Red Eyes Insight. This is another one of the ratios I see. I just like this one so much. It helps with the consistency so freaking much. I love maxing out on this card. You send 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand to the grave or deck to the graveyard. Excuse me. Except, you send 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Add 1 Red Eyes spell and trap card from your deck to your hand. Except another copy of this card. That's what I was about to say. You can only activate 1 Red Eyes Insight per turn. It's just really cool. You basically say, yeah, I need this in the graveyard. You literally Foolish Burial anything you need from your hand or deck, and then you get to search a spell and trap card. This card is just phenomenal. I really love this card. I've never not played this at 3, I don't think. I don't think I have, because I really love it. Also running triple of Return of the Dragon Lords. This card is just as good in this deck as it is in the Blue Eyes deck. If you don't know what this card does, you target 1 level 7 or 8 dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it. And if a dragon monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So it's basically a monster reborn with graveyard protection, and on top of that, it's not even a soft once per turn. If you have multiple of these in your hand or in the graveyard, you have multiple monster reborns, you have multiple protection in the same turn. It's a really good card. I'm also running triple Allure of Darkness because basically everything we play in this deck is dark, so it really helps to dig into the deck. Now, take it with a grain of salt. You might think about wanting to play 2 of this because you actually don't want, most of the time you don't want your Red Eyes stuff banished. So use it sparingly unless you're able, unless you can afford, because most of the time you want it in the grave, because this deck really revolves around things being in the grave. It really helps a lot with that. So just learn the deck, know what you can banish, when you can banish things. Don't be banishing things like crazy, but it is very powerful being able to banish something and dig 2 cards deeper than today, and also a card that's not even a soft once per turn as well. So you could play this at 2 if you wanted to, but I like it at 3. And I'm also running double Cards of the Red Stone. This is one I see played one of quite a bit, but I still really like it at 2. You send 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster from your hand to the graveyard, you draw 2 cards. And then after that, after you've dug into your deck, you can send 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster from your deck to the graveyard. So literally a double Foolish Burial, draw 2. This is a really awesome card, and I love it. And then lastly, I'm running 1 Dragon Shrine. I like Dragon Shrine a lot. I played this deck without it for a while, but I missed it. I really like it. You send a dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then if that monster in your graveyard is a normal monster, you can send another dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. So it's basically a double Foolish Burial, and I like it a lot. And I'm also running a Monster Reborn. It kind of, basically the reason I even put this in the deck, even though it's an insanely powerful card that's limited at 1, it's literally for Dark Magician. I really want to be able to go into a second Dragoon if I need to. And then for the traps, I'm running 1 Red Eye Spirit. You target 1 Red Eyes monster in your graveyard, except Red Eyes Black Chick, special summon it. 1 Return of the Red Eyes, and then double Fang of Chang. Fang of Chang is also something I see moved around the ratios quite a bit. I like 2. I don't like 3, and I don't like 1. 2 is just pretty optimal to me, but also kind of just depends on the build you're doing as well. If you're doing a different build, you might not play as many, or you might play more. So completely up to you. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I'm running double Red Eyes Dragoon. Red Eyes Dragoon, freaking phenomenal card. If you don't know what this card does, let me introduce it to you. If you've been living in a cave for the last year or so, let's talk about this card. So Red Eyes Dragoon, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Neither player can target this card with card effects. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, just cause. And if you do, inflict damage your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. You can use this effect a number of times per turn up to the number of normal monsters use fusion material for this card, which is freaking crazy. Once per turn. When a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can discard a card, negate the activation if you do destroy that card. And if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack. And that attack gain is permanent as well. This card is one of the best boss monsters of this generation of Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly, it is just absolutely phenomenal. if anyone sees you playing a Red Eyes deck or a Dark Magician deck, they're like, crap, I gotta deal with Dragoon. Okay, so also running 1 Slash. I kind of touched on this earlier. I don't play 2 Slash anymore. I did go with the Slash build. I'm not crazy about it, so just 1 Slash for me. And then also 1 Meteor Black Common Dragon as well. Also running 1 Predaplant Verte Anaconda, 1 Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, 1 IP along with the Nightmare package, and then also 1 access code as well. If you wanted to play literally any of the links, you can do that. If you want to play the Guard Dragons, you can do that too. And then for the Xyz, just running a number 11 Big Eye. I really like this card because once per turn, you can detach material from this card. Target a monster your opponent controls, take control of that monster. This card can't attack the turn that effect is activated. But you're like, hey, I like that, give me that. And then also just running triple of Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon as well. So that's actually it for the deck profile, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this one. Red Eyes is just super iconic. It's a lot of fun. It is freaking consistent. Like particularly this build is really consistent. You can consistently get things in the graveyard. You can consistently set things up in your graveyard, get things in your hand. It's just all the flexibility of being able to send things to the graveyard, search things to your hand. Like it's really consistent. I really do like this deck. There's still some things I'd like to see kind of incorporated into the Red Eyes archetype, but you know, one day at a time. Dragoon was a massive step forward. Anyway, so let me know down in the comments below, what is your favorite dragon deck? I'd love to hear it because I don't even know what mine is. Between Photons, Photon Galaxy, Red Eyes, Blue Eyes, there's just a ton out there. So let me know, what's yours? I'd love to hear it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I do very much appreciate it. If you're here and you haven't already done so, now's a great time to subscribe, hit the bell so you become a part of the notification team, and then give this video a thumbs up. It says, hey Noble, like your videos or like your content, keep it up, buddy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.